Hi, welcome to Competitive Cracker. So, CSIR-Net Physics ആസ്പിരൻസിനെ എല്ലാം ഈ ഒരു വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. Those who are aspiring for CSIR-Net Physics, നമുക്കറിയാം it's one of the difficult examinations in physics that is done in PG level. So, അത്ര എളുപ്പത്തിൽ ക്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു എക്സാം അല്ല, അതാണ് ശരി അല്ലേ. So it can be cracked so easily like other competitive exams like SET and junior lectureship, etc. So in this examination we know from part A, part B, part C, you will be given 75 questions, out of which 15 from part A should be attended for must, then 20 from part B, and 15 from part C have to be attended. So ഇതിനെല്ലാം നെഗറ്റീവ് മാർക്കുകളുണ്ട്. അപ്പം ഇത് ക്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളത് അത്ര എളുപ്പത്തിൽ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു എക്സാം അല്ല. പക്ഷേ എന്നിരുന്നാലും നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു പഠനമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, ഒരു ഓറിയൻറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സ്റ്റഡി പാറ്റേൺ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ തീർച്ചയായും യു ക്യാൻ ക്രാക്ക് ദിസ് എക്സാമിനേഷൻ. ഇത് ഒരു തവണ കൊണ്ട് എഴുതി പാസ്സാകാൻ അത്ര എളുപ്പത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് സാധിച്ചെന്ന് വരില്ല. But there are people who have cracked these examinations with single appearance. But there are also many who are waiting to crack this examination even after writing for 5 to 6 times. The only thing which is important to crack this examination is hard work and perseverance. So if you work hard and you strive for success, then surely you will meet success. ഓക്കെ. സോ 2023 തന്നെ ലെക്ചർഷിപ്പ് വിത്ത് JRF പാസ്സാവാൻ എല്ലാവർക്കും സാധ്യമാവട്ടെ. സോ ദിസ് ഇയർ the examination which has to be conducted in December, which had to be conducted in December, is clubbed with the examination which is to be conducted in June. So both examinations are combined. I think this examination is combined in order to reduce the number of JRF post. നമ്മുടെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ JRFൻ്റെ എണ്ണം കുറയ്ക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ആയിരിക്കണം അവർ അത്തരത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു നീക്കം നടത്തിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. So we can be very sure that the examination won't be so easy. The questions will be tough, but if you prepare very well, you can definitely crack this examination. And the key to crack this CSIR-Net Physics is to have a better mathematical background. You should be very handy with the mathematics. So mathematics, you should have very good mathematical ability, very good numerical skills, and also you should be very thorough with the basic principles of or physics also. So with this introduction, I am here to discuss some of the previous questions which I felt to be very important. So let us discuss some of the previous questions. Okay. So this is the first question. The state vector of a one-dimensional simple harmonic oscillator of angular frequency omega at a time t equal to 0 is given by psi of 0 equal to 1 by root 2 ket 0 plus ket 2, where ket 0 and 2 are the normalized ground and second excited states respectively. The minimum time after which the state vector psi of t is orthogonal to psi of 0 is. The question of this kind is asked more frequently. Okay, whether it be CSIR examination or in GATE examination, they are asking this kind of question: the time after which a given state is orthogonal to a previous state. So here the basic principle that you have to remember is the time evolution of a wave function. Okay, so let us see. So they are given the initial wave function as luckily they have given it as a normalized wave function 1 by root 2 ket 0 plus ket 2. This is the initial wave function. And after a time t, t, this psi of 0 evolves to, the psi of 0 evolves to what? Psi of t. Psi of 0 evolves to psi of t. Then when it evolves to psi of t, it will be 1 by root 2 0 get 0 e power minus I E0 t by h cross plus get 2 e power minus I E2 t by h cross. E2 t by h cross. Is it not? So, they are given that this is a simple harmonic oscillator. This is a simple harmonic oscillator, and we know the energy En is equal to n plus half h cross omega, n plus half h cross omega, and from this you can calculate E0. What is E0? Put n equal to 0, it is half h cross omega, and E2 equals 2 plus 1 by 2 is 5 by 2, 5 by 2 h cross omega, 5 by 2 h cross omega. Substitute it here. So, psi of t equals what it will be? 1 by root 2 get 0 e power minus I half h cross omega, h cross and h cross will cancel, and half this will be I minus I omega t by 2 plus get 2 e power minus I this will be h cross and h cross will also cancel, this I into 5 omega t, 5 omega t by 2. So, you got psi of 0 and you got psi of t. Okay. So, they are given that these both are orthogonal to each other. Orthogonal to each other. Say what is the meaning of this orthogonal to each other? When they are orthogonal to each other, the orthogonality condition is psi of t into psi of 0. This inner product will be equal to 0. Inner product is equal to 0. So, this is the adjoint of psi of t. Adjoint of psi of t. So, what will be the adjoint of psi of t? Both psi of t and psi of 0 has 1 by root 2 as common. So, 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2, it will be 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 into what it will be? Adjoint of 0 into e power I omega t by 2 into I omega t by 2 plus adjoint of 2 into e power I 5 omega t by 2 into get 0 plus get 2, get 0 plus get 2. This will be equal to 0. Correct? So, what it will be? 1 by 2 which is equal to 0. So, this goes, and then this is just like the dot product of vectors, only the like terms has to be multiplied. So, what it will be? E power I omega t by 2 plus e power I into 5 omega t by 2 equals 0. Since 0 0 equals 1, they are orthonormalized, and they are orthonormalized. 2 2 equals 1. Is it clear? So, from here you can take e power I into omega t by 2 as common. So, it will be 1 plus e power, if you take I omega t by 2, it will be I into 4 omega t by 2. 4 omega t by 2, this will be equal to 0. So, what it will be? 1 plus 1 plus e power I into 4 omega t by 2 equals 0, or you can say that e power I into 2 omega t by 2 omega t, e power 2 omega t equals minus 1, e power 2 I into 2 omega t equals minus 1. So, you can write this minus 1 as e power I into 2n plus 1 pi, I into 2n plus 1 pi. If you put n equal to 0, e raised to I pi will be equal to minus 1. So, you can put the values of n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. So, minus 1 can be written as e power I into 2n plus 1 into pi. So, you can equate the powers. You can equate the powers. When you equate the powers, you will get what? 2 omega t equals 2n plus 1 pi, 2n plus 1 pi, and t equals what will be t? T equals 2n plus 1 pi by 2 omega. 2n plus 1 by 2 omega time t equals 2n plus 1 pi by 2 omega. But they are asking about the minimum time. They are asking about the minimum time. So to have the minimum time, we have to substitute n equals 0. We have to substitute n equals 0. When you put n equal to 0, the time, minimum time, the minimum time will be equal to t minimum equal to pi by 2 omega. The minimum time will be pi by 2 omega. So after a time pi by 2 omega, psi of t and psi of 0 will be orthogonal. And after a time n equal to 1, if you substitute n equal to 1, then it will be 2 plus 1, 3 pi by 2 omega. After another time 3 pi by 2 omega, again it will be orthogonal. Then if you substitute n equal to 2, 5 pi by 2 omega, then it will again be orthogonal. So that cycle continues, and this is the minimum time. This is the first time after which those two wave functions, the initial wave function and the time evolved wave function, will be orthogonal to each other. Is it clear? I hope this problem is very clear to you. Okay. We will move on to the next one. See the next one. The phase shift of 30 degree is observed when a beam of particles of energy 0.1 MeV is scattered by a target. When the beam energy is changed, the observed phase shift is 60 degree. Assuming that only S wave scattering is relevant and the cross section doesn't change with the energy, the beam energy is. So this is the question. So first, initially the phase shift was 30 degree when the energy of the particle was 0.1 MeV, and then the beam energy is changed. Energy is changed and the phase shift is 60 degree. And there are some constraints are also there. Only S wave scattering we need to consider, and the cross section does not change with the energy. Cross section does not change with the energy, and the S wave scattering is only relevant. So how to do this problem? So there will be for sure there will be one question from scattering. You will be asked to find out the scattering amplitude. Okay. So for all exams now they have started to ask from the part of scattering also. Okay. So for this problem we need partial wave analysis. Partial wave analysis. So from a partial wave analysis, the total cross section, from a partial wave analysis, the total cross section can be written as total cross section is denoted as a sigma. Sigma is equal to what is the total cross section from a partial wave analysis? It is 4 pi by k square. 4 pi by k square into summation over L equal to 0 to infinity, summation over L equal to 0 to infinity 12 plus 1 into sine square delta L, sine square delta L. So this is from a partial wave analysis, this is the total cross section. Okay. So I hope you know this. The first constraint that we have given is only S wave scattering, only S wave scattering is relevant, only S wave scattering is relevant. So we need not consider other L values. So only S wave scattering is relevant. That means what? L is equal to 0. So only L is equal to 0. So if L is equal to 0, sigma equals what it will be? 4 pi by k square. There is no need for summation into 4 pi by k square into sine square delta 0, sine square delta 0. And if you we know the value of k is equal to under root what? 2me by h cross square, under root 2me by h cross square. and if you substitute for this k square, sigma is equal to what? 4 pi by 2me, right? 4 pi by 2me into h cross square into sine square delta 0, because the cross section does not change with energy. They have given that cross section does not change with energy, but there are no energy terms here. But there are no energy terms in this expression. So we need to incorporate the term of energy. So the only term, only variable that depends on energy is k. So we have to substitute for k. K is under root 2me by h cross square. We substituted it, and we know that as sigma does not depend on energy, as sigma does not depend on energy, as sigma does not depend on energy, we can say that 4 pi is a constant, 2m is another constant, h cross square is another constant. We can say that sine square delta 0 by e, sine square delta 0 by e will also be a constant. Sine square delta 0 by e will also be a constant. So since sigma does not depend on energy. Is it clear? I hope this much is very clear to you. So we have written that sine square delta 0 by e is a constant. So you can say that in the first case, sine square delta 0 by e in the first case will be equal to sine square delta 0 by e in the second case. Since it is a constant, both should be equal. So this is the first case. We have changed the energy first into as 0.1 MeV, and the second we have changed the energy, and we have to find out this energy. And they have given a phase shift also. This delta 0 is the phase shift, you know. So so from this we have to find out the energy. So E2 we have to find out. So E2 equals what it will be? E2 equals sine square delta 0 in the second case divided by sine square delta 0 in the first case, sine square delta 0 in the first case into E1, correct? So what is a sine square delta 0? It is sine square delta 0 in second case is sine square 60 by sine square 30 into E1 is 0.1 MeV, 0.1 MeV, correct? 0.1 MeV. So sine square sine 60 is root 3 by 2, it is 3 by 4 by sine square 30 is 1 by 2, it is 1 by 4 into 0.1. 4 and 4 cancels, 3 into 0.1 is 0.3 MeV. 0.3 MeV. So we have found out that the energy corresponding to the second phase shift is 0.3 MeV. Is it clear? So it's very easy. If you know the total cross section, if you know the expression for a total cross section, we can simply incorporate the constraints which are given in the question, and then just we will come to sine square delta 0 by e is a constant, and then the sine square delta 0 by e in the first case will be equal to sine square delta 0 by e in the second case, and then we will equate, and then we can easily find out the value of energy in the second case. I hope this is very clear to you. Okay. The topic of quantum mechanics is very, very important in the point of view of CSIR exam. In the initial stages, they were asking about normalization, just finding out the corresponding wave function in the momentum space by giving the wave function in the position space, etc. Those were simple questions, but now they have started asking very nice questions from perturbation scattering, etc. So to do the problems from perturbation, you must have very good mathematical ability in integration. So you should practice more integration techniques, and you should be able to play with integrations. Okay, and also from scattering you should concentrate more on these kind of advanced topics from quantum mechanics. Okay, so the pattern of examination has changed, the old question pattern has changed, so please pay attention to the newest topics. Okay, so they also have started to ask from nuclear physics, they have started to ask from condensed matter physics, solid state physics, in more depth. Okay, so you need to pay more attention on that topics also. Okay. Not only from this classical physics, but also from advanced physics topics also, they have started asking questions in huge depth. So our preparation pattern has to be changed. The way which we were following in the traditional way, that paying more attention to classical physics will not help us, because they have started to put equal attention to all topics. Okay, so എല്ലാ ടോപ്പിക്സിൽ നിന്നും ഒരേപോലെ ചോദ്യങ്ങളുണ്ടാവും. So we should have more focus on this newest topics. But നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ബേസ് നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിലുണ്ടാവണം. നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ മാത്തമാറ്റിക്കൽ എബിലിറ്റി നല്ലപോലെ ഉണ്ടാവണം. നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാ പ്രോബ്ലംസും നമുക്ക് നല്ലപോലെ വർക്കൗട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റണം. കാരണം ഏതാണ് നമുക്ക് മാർക്ക് തരുന്നത് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ ഒക്കില്ല. സോ വി ഷുഡ് ഡു ഓൾ ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് പ്രോബ്ലംസ്. വി ഷുഡ് പ്രാക്ടീസ് ഓൾ ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് പ്രോബ്ലംസ്. അല്ല നമുക്ക് ഒരു പ്രത്യേക ഭാഗത്തോട് മാത്രം ഒരു മമത ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് വോണ്ട് ഹെൽപ്പ് അസ്. ഓക്കെ, നമ്മുടെ ക്ലാസ്സുകളെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ് അറേഞ്ച് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുക. അപ്പം നമുക്ക് കൂടുതൽ പ്രോബ്ലം ബേസ്ഡ് ക്ലാസ്സുകളാണ്. സോ വി ആർ ഫോക്കസിങ് മോർ ഓൺ ഇംപ്രൂവിങ് ദ പ്രോബ്ലം സോൾവിങ് സ്കിൽസ്. സോ we are not demanding that the students or the aspirants or the candidates who are coming to competitive cracker should know all these things. You should come, I demand that you should come with empty hand. We will provide you everything, but the only thing is you should cooperate. നിങ്ങളുടെ സഹകരണം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് നല്ലപോലെ പഠിച്ചെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. മറ്റ് പല എൻഗേജ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് വെച്ചിട്ട് CSIR പഠിക്കാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് ഒരിക്കലും ശരിയാവില്ല. നമുക്ക് 24/7 CSIR വേണ്ടി ഡെഡിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്തെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ ഈ ഒരു എക്സാം നമുക്ക് പാസ്സാവാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. സോ അത്ര ഫോക്കസ് വേണം. വി ഷുഡ് ബി ഫോക്കസ്ഡ് ഓൺലി ഓൺ ദിസ്. നമുക്ക് പല വർക്കുകൾ കാണും, പക്ഷേ അതിനെല്ലാം പ്രാധാന്യം കുറച്ച് ഇതിലേക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ഫോക്കസും നമ്മുടെ എനർജിയും എല്ലാം കോൺസെൻട്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്തെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ഈ ഒരു പരീക്ഷ നമുക്ക് പാസ്സായി എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. നമുക്ക് ഒത്തിരി അവസരങ്ങളുണ്ട്. ഇത് ഇനി കോളേജുകളിലൊക്കെ ഒത്തിരി ഒഴിവുകൾ വരുന്നുണ്ട്. കോളേജുകളിൽ മാത്രമല്ല, അത് മാത്രം നോക്കി നിന്നിട്ട് ഒരു കാര്യവുമില്ല. പക്ഷേ മറ്റ് പല മേഖലകളിലും, ഇപ്പോൾ ഗേറ്റ് ആണെങ്കിലും, ഗേറ്റൊക്കെ പാസ്സായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എത്ര അവസരങ്ങളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ പരീക്ഷകൾക്കൊക്കെ ക്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് അത്രമാത്രം ഫോക്കസ് നമുക്കുണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, സോ നമ്മുടെ ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ അത് ഗുണം ചെയ്യുന്നത് തന്നെയാണ്. അത് യു ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് ബി ബാക്ക്ഡ് അപ്പ് വിത്ത് ഓൾ ദോസ് മാത്തമാറ്റിക്കൽ സ്റ്റഫ്സ്. യു ഷുഡ് കം എംപ്റ്റി ഹാൻഡഡ് ആൻഡ് വി വിൽ ഫിൽ യുവർ പോട്ട്സ്. നിങ്ങളെ നിറച്ചു വിടും. അത്ര നല്ല ടോപ്പിക്കുകളായിട്ടാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഗ്രാവിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ only thing is that you should be ready to cooperate. Okay, the next one is a closed system. See the next one. Yes, see the Hamiltonian of a two-level quantum system is H equals half h cross omega 1 1 1 minus 1. A possible initial state in which the probability of the system being in that quantum state does not change with the time is. So this is also from quantum mechanics. I have never meant that quantum mechanics or such a classical physics has lost its importance. The thing is, they have raised the importance, they have increased the level of importance of other papers also. I have never meant that you should not study this classical quantum, mathematical and statistical electrodynamics, etc. You should study and you should know that very well. Okay, they are the basics of all other subjects. See, this is another question from I think from 2018. The Hamiltonian of a two-level quantum system. They are given a Hamiltonian and they are asking about the initial state which does not change with the time. They have given some 4 options. So we have to find out the initial state of the quantum system. Okay, let us see. And also I request you to study this angular momentum algebra very well. Angular momentum, spin angular momentum. They will definitely play with this spin angular momentum, Sx, Sy, Sz, and those matrix forms. And all കാര്യങ്ങളും അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കണം. Okay, so see this problem. That means they are saying that this state, the state does not change with the time. The state does not change with respect to time. The state does not change with respect to time. A quantum state which does not change with respect to time means it is an eigenfunction of the Hamiltonian, which means that the state is an eigenfunction of the Hamiltonian itself. See, we can't find out a state from vacuum. See how they have formulated this connection. See, the state is not changing with respect to time means that state is an eigenfunction of the Hamiltonian itself. Since it is an eigenfunction of the Hamiltonian, we can write as H psi equals E psi. H psi equals E psi. So we have to find out this psi. Is it clear? So see, we assume see the options. In the options they have given cos, sine, cos, sine, cos, sine. See, so we assume that the initial state is psi is equal to cos theta sine theta. We assume that psi equals cos theta sine theta. If it is so, H psi equals, they are also given Hamiltonian, and H is half H cross omega into 1 1 1 minus 1 into psi is cos theta sin theta, So what it will be, H cross omega by 2 into cos theta plus sin theta, and this will be cos theta minus sin theta. So H psi equals H cross omega by 2 into cos theta plus sin theta by cos theta minus sin theta. Is it clear? So see, I am just manipulating this. This is H psi equals H cross omega by 2, and I am just multiplying it with the root 2. And I am writing it as sin pi by 4 plus theta, sin pi by 4 plus theta, and sin pi by 4 minus theta, sin pi by 4 minus theta. See, expand this. Sin pi by 4 is 45, which is 1 by root 2. Sin pi by 4 cos theta plus cos pi by 4 sin theta. 1 by root 2 will be taken as common and root 2 and root 2 cancels and you will get cos theta plus sin theta. And here it is cos theta minus sin theta. 1 by root 2 will be taken outside and it will also be cancelled. Okay. So, there is no change. Okay. So, h cross omega by 2 into root 2 into sin pi by 4 plus theta into by sin pi by 4 plus theta and this is sin pi by 4 minus theta. And we see just go through the options. This is one pi by 4 is there, pi by 8 is here, pi by 2 and pi by 6. And see just for theta equal to pi by 8, put theta equal to pi by 8. If you put theta equal to pi by 8, only for this theta you will get h psi equals e psi, and you just try for any other theta you won't get this eigenvalue equation. For any other theta which is given in the option you won't get h psi equals e psi. So, you just substitute this h psi equals e psi. So, h into our initial condition was cos theta and sin theta, and this will be cos pi by 8 sin pi by 8 is equal to e psi. Just substitute pi by 8 here, it will be pi by 8 pi by 8, it will be sin pi by 4 plus sin pi by 4 cos pi by 8 cos this will be cos pi by 4 and sin pi by 8, right. So, this will be cos pi by 8, this will be h cross omega and root 2 and 2 cancels, it will be h cross omega by root 2 and this will be cos pi by 8 and this will be what remains here, this is sin pi by 8, sin pi by 8. You can try for any other theta which is given in the question, in the options. You won't get this eigenvalue equation. So, this is the energy eigenvalue and this is the psi. This is the required psi. Energy is h cross omega by root 2 and the psi is cos pi by 8 and sin pi by 8. The column vector cos pi by 8 and sin pi by 8. Is it clear? So, you should be able to find out any state. You will be asked initial state, you will be asked normalized, you will be asked the orthogonal state, etc. So, we should be able to find out any state they are asking. These kind of problems may you will face in spin angular momentum problems. So, you should pay more attention to that also, spin angular momentum problems, initial spin, final spin, etc. Is it clear? I hope this is very clear to you. And see the next problem. A closed system is having 3 non-degenerate levels, energy levels with the energies E equal to 0 plus or minus epsilon, plus or minus E, small e, is at a temperature T. For E equals 2 kBT, the probability of finding the system in the state with the energy E equal to 0 is. This is one of the popular questions from statistical mechanics. From statistical mechanics you will face problems which are like stories. The problems will be like novels or stories. You will have to read from the first word till the last word, and the questions will be filling a side itself. അത്രയും വലിയ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ആയിരിക്കും, അത്രയും വായിക്കാനുണ്ടാവും. Because they have to describe the system, they have to define a particular system. They may be defining a new system which are quite unfamiliar to us. They will be asking about a particular chain, they will be asking about a particular system with this much energy levels and this much particles. So, they have to define the system. So, they have to describe the question in a very big paragraph. Once you are able to understand what kind of a system they are asking, then it will be very easy for us. First formulate the partition function, and then you will have to find out the things that they are asking. And in this kind of problems, you should be able to deal with differentiations and integrations of exponential functions and log functions. So this won't be as simple as what you think. So you should practice more questions. The primary practice should be given to understand the system, to understand the question. So you should read 2 times, 3 times and 4 times. If you see a question coming from statistical mechanics, you should not miss it, because it will be very easy. The size of the question will be very big, but it will be very easy once you understand the question, once you understand the system, and once you are able to draw a graphical representation of the system. You will be very it will be very easy. You will find it as a very simple job to do this kind of problems. Let us see how to do this problem. See, this has three levels. This has 3 levels, with the energy E equal to 0 and minus E and plus E, minus E and plus E. So this is this system is at a temperature T, and we have to find out the particular system at the energy 2 kBT, E equal to 2 kBT. Okay, let us do. So first we have to find out the partition function. Z equals e power summation over gi e power minus E by kBT summation. Okay, so first we will 0 e power minus e power 0 by kBT minus 0 by kBT some g equal to 1, you know, because they have mentioned nothing about the degeneracy. They are a non-degenerate. They have said that they are a non-degenerate. Since they have mentioned that it is non-degenerate, or they have mentioned nothing about degeneracy, by default you should take g as 1. It will be by default non-degenerate. Is it clear? So plus e power minus E by kBT plus e power minus minus into minus, it will be plus E by kBT, plus E by kBT. So this is 1. So it is 1 plus e power, you know, this e power x plus e power minus x by 2 is cos hx, cos hx. So e power x plus e power minus x is 2 cos hx. So this will be 2 cos h E by kBT, 2 cos h E by kBT. So you have we have got the partition function for this system. Half job is done. Okay, then we have to find out the probability of finding the system in the state with energy E equal to 0. So we have to find out what is the probability that this system remains in the state in the state with the energy E equal to 0. Okay, so probability at E equals 0, probability of the system to be in E equal to 0 is what? That is e power E by kBT, e power minus E by kBT by Z. So E is equal to 0, so it will be e power 0 by kBT by Z, 1 plus 2 cos h E by kBT, E by kBT. Okay, so this is what probability at E equal to 0 equals 1 by 1 plus 2 cos h E by kBT. Okay, so So we have to find out the energy is at E is equal to 2 kBt. So for energy is equal to 2 kBt, energy is at 2 kBt. So probability is equal to 1 by 1 plus 2 cos h 2 kBt by kBt, it is 2. 1 by 1 plus 2 cos h2. 1 plus 2 cos h2. So this problem is very easy. So this is what I have said. You read the problem, formulate a graphical representation of the problem, write the partition function, simplify the partition function, and next you do what they are asking. Okay, they may be asking some about some potentials. They may be asking to find out some energies, free energies. So we have given that there are expressions for finding out each and every thermodynamic term. So stick on to that basics and just to do the problem. So here they have asked you to find out the probability at E equal to 0. Probability at E equal to 0 means E power that energy by kBt by total Z. That you know how to find the probability. If there is a degeneracy, it is GI. Okay, so GI into E power minus EI by kBt. GI is 1 and EI is 0. So it is 1 by 2 cos h E by kBt. And they have given a particular energy, and just substitute the energy and find this is the total probability. This is not total probability, this is the probability for finding the system at energy E equal to 0. I hope you have understood this. Is it clear? And see, we have launched our net courses. These are the UGC courses. For UGC net, we have launched the general paper and commerce, management, English and economics. So, and for CSIR, we are currently running with the physics. We have launched the physics, CSIR physics course, and the other courses are on the way. This course is purely, you can study purely through our app of Competitive Cracker. Then you will have recorded classes, plenty of recorded classes will be there, and in addition to this recorded classes, you will be given live classes also, live classes which are dedicated for problem solving or which are dedicated to doubt clearance, etc. So you must not wait for the live classes to clear your doubts. You can from 24/7 you can clear your doubts by asking your mentors. ഏത് വിധേനയും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് you can approach your mentors by any means. You can contact us through our WhatsApp numbers or even through your tutors, and you can clear your doubts. Okay, so 24/7 doubt clearance will be there. You can watch our videos, our recorded videos many times until you understand the particular concept. And our aim is to make you qualify this UGC or CSIR net in June 2023 itself. Okay, so once again I am saying that the only thing that we demand is your cooperation. Unless you cooperate, we are helpless. If you cooperate, it will be a great success for you. ഇത് നിങ്ങൾ എടുക്കുന്ന ഏറ്റവും നല്ലൊരു തീരുമാനമായിരിക്കും നിങ്ങൾ സഹകരിച്ചാൽ. So this will be one of the best decisions to join Competitive Cracker, so that you can definitely crack the upcoming CSIR or UGC net in these subjects. Okay, well, efficient teachers are there as your mentors. So definitely they can help you to clear your doubts or to clear your exams ultimately. I hope you have understood, and നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു മടിയും വേണ്ട. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തീർച്ചയായും യു ക്യാൻ ഓപ്റ്റ് ഫോർ കോമ്പറ്റേറ്റീവ് ക്രാക്കർ ആസ് യുവർ കോച്ചിങ് ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട്. ഓക്കെ, നമ്മളിത് എല്ലാവർക്കും എല്ലാവർക്കും ഓഫ്ലൈനായിട്ട് പോയി പഠിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത് സാധ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമല്ല. നോട്ട് എവറി വൺ ക്യാൻ ഗോ ഫോർ ദാറ്റ് ഓഫ്ലൈൻ കോഴ്സസ്. സോ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി online classes for these kind of competitive exams can definitely help you because you are not away from your home environment, you are not away from your room, or you are not away from your homely food. And the major thing that affects those people who are opting for offline courses are the climate changes, are the food they are providing, പിന്നെ ഹോം സിക്നസ്, അങ്ങനത്തെ പല കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടാവും. സോ ഓൺലൈൻ ക്ലാസ്സസിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ മെച്ചം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ ഫിസിക്കൽ കംഫർട്ട് സോണിൽ നിന്നും പുറത്തു പോകുന്നില്ല എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. സോ നമ്മുടെ കംഫർട്ട് സോണിൽ നിന്നും പുറത്തു പോകാതെ ബ്രേക്ക് യുവർ കംഫർട്ട് സോൺസ് എന്ന് പറയും, പക്ഷേ അത് നമ്മുടെ മെൻ്റൽ കംഫർട്ട് സോൺ ബ്രേക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ട് വേണം നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കാൻ. ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി വി വിൽ ബ്രേക്ക് യുവർ കംഫർട്ട് സോൺ മെൻ്റലി. കാരണം അങ്ങനെ ബ്രേക്ക് ചെയ്തെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ യു വിൽ സ്റ്റഡി മോർ ആൻഡ് മോർ, യു വിൽ എക്സ്പ്ലോർ മോർ ആൻഡ് മോർ. ഓക്കെ, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ആദ്യമേ നിങ്ങളോട് പറഞ്ഞത് യു കം എംപ്റ്റി ഹാൻഡഡ് ബട്ട് ബി റെഡി ടു കോപ്പറേറ്റ്. നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുകയും നമ്മുടെ അസൈൻമെൻറ്റ്സ്, ഡെയിലി അസൈൻമെൻറ്റ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും, വീക്ക്ലി എക്സാമുകളുണ്ടാവും, നമ്മുടെ PDF നോട്ടുകളുണ്ടാവും. ഇതിനോടെല്ലാം സഹകരിച്ചാൽ ഇഫ് യു കോപ്പറേറ്റ് ഫോർ ദിസ് definitely those people who have come empty handed will go with full belly and full brain. നമ്മളെ നിറച്ച് നമ്മളെ വിടും. സോ നിങ്ങളെ ഈ എക്സാം ക്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തീർച്ചയായും സാധിക്കും. Once you subscribe or once you purchase this course, this is not for a single exam. For this subscription or this purchase is for a whole year. So you can have coaching for 2 simultaneous CSIR or UGC NET exams. അപ്പം ഒരു പർച്ചേസ് വഴി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു വർഷത്തിൽ വരുന്ന 2 എക്സാമുകൾക്ക് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അപ്പിയർ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും നമ്മുടെ കോഴ്സ് വഴി. സോ യു ക്യാൻ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ഓപ്റ്റ് ഫോർ എ കോമ്പറ്റേറ്റീവ് ക്രാക്കർ ആൻഡ് വി ആർ റെഡി ടു ഹെൽപ്പ് യു ആൻഡ് വി വിൽ സ്റ്റഡി ടുഗെദർ. ഓക്കെ, and see the next problem. Consider a one-dimensional potential for an infinite square well given by V of x equal to 0 for 0 less than x less than a and infinity elsewhere. And if a perturbation, see they have given a perturbation delta V of x equal to V0 for 0 less than x less than a by 3 and 0 otherwise. So they have given a perturbation, for this much area, 0 to a by 3, this much length. Is that perturbation is applied, then the correction to the energy of the first excited state, this is first excited state, correction to the energy of the first excited state to first order in delta V. So we have to find out the correction to the energy for the first excited state in first order in delta V. So you should not go to delta V square, should restrict ourselves to delta V. So first excited state. Okay, so let us see. So we have to find out the correction to the first excited state, right? So psi of x for the first excited state, psi of x for the first excited state. How we can write? It is under root 2 by a sin n pi x, 2 pi x by a, 2 pi x by a. First excited state is n is equal to 2. No, it is not n equal to 0 is not the ground state. N equal to 1 is the ground state. Okay, n equal to 0 is the ground state for simple harmonic oscillator. You should not get confused. Okay, so under root 2 by a sin 2 pi x by a, and the first order correction to the energy, first order correction to the first order correction to the second energy, or the first excited state is n equal to 2. So, first order correction to the energy is how we can find out the correction? Psi 2 H prime psi 2, psi 2 H prime psi 2, correct? It is the expectation value of the perturbed Hamiltonian. So, psi 2 H prime psi 2. So, what is a psi 2 H prime psi 2? It is a root 2 by a into root 2 by a is 2 by a. It is when you integrate it is from 0 to, what is the limit of perturbation? 0 to a by 3 is the limit of perturbation. It is 0 to a by 3 sine square, sine into sine, sine square 2 pi x by a, 2 pi x by a into, what is the perturbation? It is a V0, V0 dx, H prime is a V0 dx. I hope you know this. So, what it will be? This is sine square is 1 minus cos 1 minus cos 2a by 2, and by 2 and 2 cancels. It is V0 also taken outside. It is a V0 by a into integral 0 to a by 3, 0 to a by 3. It is 1 minus cos 2a. It is 4 pi x by a, 1 minus cos of 4 pi x by a dx, 1 minus cos of 4 pi x by a dx. Okay, concentrate. So, it is V0 by a, it is common, into 1 dx is x from where to where? 0 to a by 3, 0 to a by 3 minus what? A by 4 pi, it is a by 4 pi into it is a cos, it is, so it is a sine 4 pi x by a, sine 4 pi x by a, from where to where? 0 to a by 3, from 0 to a by 3, right? Is it right? So, it is V0 by a into upper limit minus lower limit. It is a by 3 minus a by 4 pi, a by 4 pi into a by 4 pi into sine. It is a by 3. It is, so it is a sine 4 pi by 3 into sine 4 pi by 3. So, V0 by a into a by 3 minus a by 4 pi into sine 4 pi by 3. What is sine 4 pi by 3? 4 into 180 by 3. So, it is a so it is a 60 into 4, it is a 240. Sine 240, sine 240 is a sine 180 plus 60. So, sine A cos B, first is 0 minus cos A plus cos A sine B. Cos A is cos 180 is minus 1, and it is sine 60 is root 3 by 2. So, sine 240 is sine 240 is what? Minus root 3 by 2. Sine 240 is minus root 3 by 2. Okay. So, V0 by a into a by 3 minus a by 4 pi into minus root 3 by 2, minus root 3 by 2. So, a is in the denominator, all a's will cancel. So, it is a V0. So, it is a V0 by 3 plus V0 minus into minus plus, it is a V0 V0 into root 3 by 8, V0 into root 3 by 8, V0 into root 3 by 8 pi. So, it is 1 V0, if you take V0 common, it is a 1 by 3, it is a 0.33 plus root 3 by 8. If you do this, it will be approximately about 0.4. It will be about 0.4 V0. It will be about 0.4 V0. If you look in the options, it will be about 0.4. That means it is less than 0.4. Definitely it will be less than 0.4. But if you look in the options, you will find out that is a 0.2 V0, 0.1 V0, 1 0 is there, and 1.33 V0 is there. So, in the beginning of the question paper, they will say that you have to choose the correct or most suitable answer. The correct or most suitable answer. So, the most suitable answer will be 0.33 V0. 0.33 V0. The answer which is suitable, or the option which is most suitable is 0.33 V0. If you check the options, you will definitely find. Is it clear? So, it is just a perturbation, just a first order correction to the energy, and you know how to find out this first order correction. Okay. So, you should very well pay attention to this perturbation problems also. I hope this is very clear to you. And see the next one, the spin parity assignments for the ground and first excited states of the isotope 57 nickel in the single particle shell model is. So, it is from a nuclear physics. You know the shell model, Spuds, Spud, sieve, peg, dish of pig, and all vowels will be cancelled out, and you know how to arrange the levels, and you know where there are intrusions. Okay, you know that how to write, how to plot the various levels also. So, see, it is a nickel 2857, right? This is nickel 2857. So, the proton number is 28. So, it is even. So, it will not contribute to any J pi, and the neutron number is what will be the neutron number? 29. 29 neutron number will be there, and this is odd, and the single neutron after 28 that will contribute to spin parity, that you know. The spin parity is how will you find out? It is Jp, right? Jp, and parity P is minus 1 all power L, minus 1 all power L. So, ground state, first you have to find out the ground state. It is a 1s level, and this is a 1p level, this is a 1p level, and there is after 1p it is a 1d level, and there is a intrusion. This is a 1s, this is a 1s, so it is a 1s, there will be 1s 1 by 2, and this is a 1p level, and this is a 1p 3 by 2, and 1p 1 by 2, 1p 1 by 2, and this is a 1d level, and there 1d 5 by 2, and 1d 3 by 2. This is a 2s level, that is definitely getting intruded, and this is a 2s 1 by 2, 2s 1 by 2. Okay, and after this what 1f level will be there, and there is a intrusion from the other level. This is a 1f level. So, this 1f level is 1f 7 by 2, and 1f 5 by 2, 1f 5 by 2. So, it is a 1f 5 by 2. So, this is a 2p level, this is a 2p 3 by 2, 2p 3 by 2, 2p 3 by 2, and 2p, this is a 2p 1 by 2, that you know, these levels you know. So, it is a neutron number is 29. So, here there will be 2, here there will be 4, here there will be 2, here there will be 6, here 2, here 4, and here what is 6, here and 20, this is a 28, and 2p 3 by 2, 2p 3 by 2, it will have, this will up to here we will have a 28, up to here we will have 28, and this is the 29th, this is the 29th neutron, this is the 29th neutron. So, this 29th neutron belongs to 2p 3 by 2, 29th neutron belongs to 2p 3 by 2. So, what will be Jp? J value is what? J value is 3 by 2. J value is 3 by 2. And this what is the parity? Parity is a minus 1 whole power L. L value is 1. So, it is a minus 1 whole power 1. So, it will be minus 1. So, it is a minus. So, for the ground state, the spin parity is Jp is equal to 3 by 2 minus 3 by 2 minus. This is for ground state. And for first excited state, how they will form first excited state? They will form the first excited state by moving this electron to the next higher level. So, it goes to this. Okay. So, this neutron will go to the next higher level. So, it belongs to 1f5 by 2. So, that gives you J pi equals it is 5 by 2. It is a 5 by 2 and minus 1 parity, pi is a minus 1 whole power L, it is a minus 1 whole power 3, it is a minus 1 itself. So, the first excited state J pi value is also 5 by 2 minus. So, 3 by 2 minus and 5 by 2 minus. While choosing the options, you should pay great attention. So, the options will be very much mixed. So, you should choose the correct option, 3 by 2 minus and 5 by 2 minus. Okay. I hope this is very clear, and you should be able to you should be able to write the levels. You should not draw this. This is just to demonstrate. You should just write, and you should know how to fill the levels. Is it clear? And we have much more questions, but time is up. So, I am concluding. So, the Innathe live, I believe that I hope that this live has been of a very use to all, and very useful to all, and definitely ningalku idoru trigger ആയി മാറട്ടെ. I hope that we can work together, we can study together. So, competitive cracker is ready to welcome you all to crack CSIR-Net Physics June 2023, and I welcome you all so that we can study together and we can prosper together. And I will consider it as a great opportunity to help you to crack this exam, so that this will be of a great stepping stone in your life. നിങ്ങളുടെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഏറ്റവും നല്ലൊരു സ്വപ്നത്തിന് ഒരു പങ്ക് വഹിക്കാൻ പറ്റുക എന്നുള്ളത് കോമ്പറ്റേറ്റീവ് ക്രാക്കറിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഒരു വലിയ കാര്യമാണ്. സോ നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം, competitive cracker is one of the greatest institution, or one of the institution which is in forefront in South India for all these teaching examinations, whether it be CATET teaching eligibility test, or state eligibility test, or other kind of government examinations, etc. So, it is of great pride for us to help you to crack the CSIR and UGC NET examinations also. So, we hope and we believe that we can definitely help you in your life to have great success in this examination, and I look forward to work with you, and I welcome you all to this institution. Thank you.